just threw my phone across the room and started crying uncontrollably. And I don't really get angry. I've never gotten angry about stuff. I get frustrated, but it takes a lot to get to me. I'll get angry on behalf of other people, on injustices, but on my own stuff. But it just, I've never been this angry in my life. And I don't know how to handle it. And I know it's unfair. Life's unfair. I get it. My life's always been unfair. But I don't know how you mentally prepare yourself for this amount of unfair. When the people that are supposed to be helping you, that you put your trust in, make everything worse. And you can't fight back because they have all the power. So you're just left feeling completely and utterly powerless. And my doctor took me off of very mild narcotics over a year ago that I was on for several years responsibly with no problems. I used less than I was getting prescribed. Like, I never had to up my dose, nothing, for years. And he took me off it because he wasn't comfortable having me on them that long. And I trusted him, and I tried to fucking, you guys were there, medications from hell for months, just so that I could be like the perfect patient, so that they didn't have any cause to doubt me. And like, I can't go and say, give me back narcotics so that I can trust myself, because then they're just gonna be like, you're young, you just want drugs. And if that ever gets on my file, then I'm screwed for my care for the rest of my fucking life, because this isn't going anywhere anytime soon. And like, when he took me off them, he literally said, you could come in here begging and crying to be put back on them, and I won't prescribe them. So why even bother? I went to an appointment with the doctor a week ago, and pain was so bad that I needed my mom and a nurse to help me get into the doctor's office. And then I had to lay on the fucking exam table with sunglasses on so that I didn't pass out. And because my back was so bad, I couldn't be upright for more than a minute. And he pretty much just sat there and said that maybe that was just my new normal now, since it's been a few months and we haven't been able to fix it. And he denied me an MRI. My RMT said an MRI might be helpful, and he said there's no reason for an MRI because surgery won't fix it, and that's the only reason for an MRI. And okay, I can't argue with that, I guess. He did say that if my RMT wanted to contact him, he could be convinced. But I just, in relationships, you get those red flags at the start that you never realize until the end. The very, very start, before he took me off of the narcotics, he took me off of my anti-anxiety meds, which, again, as needed, not daily. I get a prescription that would last a person taking it regularly a few weeks, and I make mine last 6 months because I don't take them absolutely necessary. But he wasn't comfortable with me being on the narcotics and the anti-anxiety, so he took me off the anti-anxiety and then took me off the narcotics because logic. Anyway, when he took me off of the anti-anxiety meds, he said, anxiety feels awful, but it won't kill you. And at the time, I was like, haha, yeah, because I was just happy that someone was talking to me, and it seemed like he believed me about my other health concerns, and I the bar is so fucking low that you basically flip your shit when any professional takes you seriously or believes you. Anyway, that was a bit of a red flag because, like, what is that saying? His job is only to keep me alive, nothing about quality of life. It doesn't matter if it feels like you're dying, as long as you're not dying, then they can't do anything for you. 'Cause cool, I mean, no tests have shown that whatever the fuck's going on with me is gonna kill me, so I guess he's not really interested in quality of life improvement. Which should have been obvious sooner than now. But he's the best doctor I've had in 10 years. And I was also on a wait list to find him for 2 years with no doctors. I don't know what to do. I feel so out of fight. All I want to do is be able to work, support myself, help people I love, take care of my cats. I just want to function. And I'm just caught in this loop of spending exorbitant amounts of money to gain a couple of minutes of functionality, to work, to get more money, to pay for medical treatments, to gain a couple fucking seconds of functionality. And I'm so... It feels like I'm always half of an inch away from a huge downward spiral. Like, if I miss a step, then my income goes down, and then my treatments go down, and then my health goes down, and then I work less, and it's really easy to get into a downward spiral that's so hard to pull yourself out of. And, like, you guys are great. I know people say, take your time. Mental health is important. Self-care is important. And yes, it's great that we can tell people that we've come a long way, but there's so much more to it than that. I tried. I became a non-functional shell of a person for 2 weeks after my friend died. I still told people what was going on. I didn't ghost. But, like, I know money's a taboo topic, but I don't fucking give a shit. I don't know why it is. If I can talk about doctors sticking their fingers at my butt, I can talk about how much I earn. Anyway, I lost half of my Patreon. My Patreon is the only thing that supports me right now since I haven't been able to cam. And I lost half of my Patreon income that had taken me almost 8 months to build up in the matter of a couple of weeks of not pushing and hustling because there's such a fast turnover. And I think I did the right thing. I would have been in such worse of a spot now had I just tried to push on. But that's just a fact that that's what it is when you're supporting yourself this way. Or seriously, any fucking job. I couldn't have just taken 2 weeks off of my internship and come back to that all willy-nilly. So and it's so hard to explain to people that haven't experienced it. I know, I was there. I couldn't have understood this a decade ago, and I have had health problems, and I've been a spoonie my entire life without realizing it. They just got a lot worse within the last 2 years. I was always pushing through. I didn't realize that there shouldn't have been stuff to push through, because when you're a kid, you just assume that your state is the same as everyone else's. Like, I remember so many nights just screaming in pain, and my dad trying to massage my legs and put me in hot baths and ice packs and stuff just so that I could sleep. I wore tights inside out for 5 years. I looked like a reject street urchin because the seam on the clothing felt like shards of glass on my skin. And I was just that weird kid that needed a lot of exceptions and special treatment. And it wasn't until shit started snowballing incredibly wrong. By the way, I've been to many, many doctors for many health issues over the years, and of course they said nothing is wrong because nothing is ever wrong with their tests. So you got your body falling apart on the inside. You got the people that are supposed to be helping you not helping you. And then you have the majority of society and or sometimes your friends and family, unfortunately, gaslighting you that this shit is all in your head and you're trying to mooch off society or be a lazy fuck for no reason. But all you want to do is just be able to get up without severe pain and hug someone without careful placement of your body so that it doesn't hurt. To just be able to open a stupid bottle of water without having to ask someone for help to put basic nutrients into your body. It's horrible. And I worked so hard to get where I was, to get my degree. I didn't go to school, dropped out of grade 2, and I pushed myself through my computer science degree by myself. I used my internship to pay off some of my student loans. I didn't do fun things because that would use my spoons, and I wasn't a normal person. I couldn't do partying on the weekend and then do my studying and my projects. And I wasn't talented or gifted like the other people in my program. I didn't have a background in it, so I had to spend 10 times longer than everyone else just to keep up. And it was okay because in my head I was working towards something. I was working towards a job that I would love and a career that would give me enough money to not be stressed like I had been my entire life. I didn't want to live like that. And I should have been making 6 figures straight out of uni. And it's so fucking hilarious that money is the one roadblock to me getting better right now. And I don't have enough of it to get myself better. And that really fucking sucks because I grew up poor. I was really lucky that there was always food on the table, but like pretty poor, you know? We got water cut off, we got heat cut off. It was scary a lot of times. But I never felt like money was stopping me from anything. There was always a way around it. Money didn't stop me from going to university. I got loans and I got grants, and money didn't stop me from dressing nicely because I could fake my way and make shit that made me feel good, and I didn't care about the stuff that money did stop me from getting. So I've never had that fucking impenetrable wall in my life, and it's so shitty to be able to see ways for you to be suffering less, but have them just out of your grasp in a country where that's not supposed to happen. We have fucking socialized healthcare. Money should not be a barrier for health things. And I'm very fond have the expression I coined trying to explain our healthcare system to Americans. Canada. Free not to die. Fucking expensive to have any quality of life. So now I don't know. What do I do? Tell my doctor I can't be with a doctor that would see me go downhill. I see him every month. He's witnessed all of this. To see my condition deteriorate so rapidly within a year, coinciding with no longer being on painkillers. Yeah, what a coincidence. He's a doctor. He's not that stupid. Like, I'm just scared. And I'm finding it so hard to push through these days. Because it just feels like everything is a fight all the time. And I'm always paying for other people's stupid mistakes. Like, what set this off was a stupid fucking dentist didn't listen to the voicemail that I left them to book an appointment. And that one stupid little thing screwed up 3 weeks of my schedule. And possibly cost me many, many weeks after that. And last week, I got the runaround. Always get the runaround. Trying to fill a prescription. And the pharmacy fucked up and didn't fax my doctor after they said they would. Didn't own up to their mistake. And because of that, my prescription was 2 days late when I was out of it already. And I did everything right. I even had a buffer because of these things. Like, I intentionally withhold medication. Like, I don't take the dose that I should be taking on days that I think I can handle it, so that I have a buffer, because I know shit like this happens. Like, we shouldn't have to do that. Oh yeah, then they switched the fucking brands without telling me. And I have really horrible reactions to brand switches, so that was just the final nail in the coffin. It sounds so stupid me saying it now, like, oh, you're a pharmacy freak. But it's like the butterfly effect of one stupid thing can be insane. Like, I slipped on ice 4 months ago, and I haven't been able to barely walk 4 months ago? 5 months ago. It was just like half a second of stupidity grew in 4 months. Having to be, like, that's why I can't cam anymore. And so I'm so behind on everything. Well, that and a few other things. You know, your friend dies, and some close people in your life fall apart, and some other... Anyway, yeah, so it's like Russian roulette and the butterfly effect. I had a maniacal baby that's controlling your life. And it just likes to fire these rounds randomly. And then when you get a bullet, you don't really know how that's going to butterfly affect its way into your next 3-4 months of life. I guess it's extra stressful when so many things are out of your control and you're kind of an innate control freak. Obviously, there's some silver linings to chronic illness. I've learned to be a lot kinder to myself. My mental health habits are healthier. I wouldn't say my mental health is healthier because of, the vast amount of severely depressing and anxiety-inducing things that I go through every day. But, like, my coping skills are slightly better. I've met some really, really amazing people that I've connected to in a way that I didn't think I would, which is great, because as previously talked about on Twitter, a lot of people dropped out of my life and kind of ghosted when I got sicker. So it's nice to still feel valued, I guess. Self-worth and value is a huge issue, or for me anyway. After I became disabled and lost the ability to do a lot of the things that were part of my core identity, like caretaking, art, dance, coding, random outdoor adventures, like just everything I thought made me disappeared. And it's even like my personality and my intelligence changes, and those are so personal, for lack of a better word. When you have cognition issues and you prided yourself on being intelligent or witty, and you can't fucking form a sentence, or you don't understand what someone is asking you when you know it should be simple, it's soul crushing. Having to ask everyone for help instead of being able to help them. Soul crushing. And like, I automatically slip into a certain way when I'm with new people or friends, or if I'm talking on the phone, and you guys know it. It's the way I talk to you when I'm on live stream, or when I'm camming and I'm vivacious and giggly, and I like making jokes with people, and I like connecting with people, even if it's just a stupid phone call or a clerk at some office. Also, I don't really see or talk to anyone now, so I'm really fucking lonely, and it's kind of the only social contact I get. But anyway, it takes so much out of me now. This entire week, every time I've hung up the phone, I've had to drop to the floor immediately because I thought I was gonna pass out or puke, and my heart's thudding in my ears, and my blood pressure drops, and it just... I don't know how not to do it. I don't want to not do it. It feels like I'm being punished for being me. I don't know if this is ever fucking going anywhere, but even when I write downer posts, I can't even leave it at that. Even when I don't mean to write an optimistic post, I always try and turn it around with something. And I know I'm not gonna feel like this forever, but that's not because I'm being irrational or emotional right now. Everything I'm feeling is completely fucking logical and justified. And the only reason that I'm not like this every day, is because why? What's the point? It doesn't stop it, it doesn't change it, and I would rather be happy than miserable. But it takes extreme focus and effort to not let everything that is going on hit you and end up like this when you're already balancing like 50 other things. Oh, fuck, dicks. Was I not crying for any of this? I've been working really hard on hydration, and this just, like, undid at least half a water bottle, so fuck my life. Excuse me, while I go replenish my tear drums. I don't know, like tear canisters? Tear cylinders? Tear capacitors? One of those things. Holy fuck, I've been sitting here talking and sobbing for 25 minutes. Maybe I should just do a transcript of this so people can read it without being severely uncomfortable watching it. Actually, just kidding. There's another point I wanted to talk about. This is like all the things I wanted to make well-informed, educational, thought-provoking videos on that I don't have the time or spoons to do, so it all bubbled up into me having a breakdown and kind of talking about them anyway. Maybe I'll just put those like timestamps so it can be like, go here if you want to listen to Clara cry about her cats. Go here if you want to listen to Clara rant about society. I don't think I actually talked about my cats today. That was amazing. Okay. Probably because they were on my mind a lot yesterday, taking them into the bed. Anyway, about discomfort. We are so engineered to avoid it, and I'm lumping myself in with this because I am viscerally uncomfortable when I see something that's not societally acceptable, especially surrounding disability. And you know how open and how much I advocate for inclusion and every fucking body is beautiful and everything like that, and that is truly something that I want to believe in. But I've also got over 2 decades of societal conditioning in my head. So I just want to say that there's nothing wrong with being a completely judgmental asshole. Snap decisions in your head, snap perceptions. That's gonna happen. It doesn't make you a horrible person. If you act on them, or you use it to inform your dialogue or interactions, that makes you a dickwad. When I see someone that is disfigured in an accident, I get uncomfortable. I want to look away. I don't want to look at them, or I do want to look at them, but then I don't want to make them uncomfortable. Like, that's a natural reaction when you've been brought up in the kind of society that we have. It's not okay. I force myself to think it through it and talk myself out of it every time it happens. I'm getting better. But we are hardwired to run away and bury and ignore anything that is uncomfortable. But guess what is a big fucking impetus for personal growth and change? Being goddamn uncomfortable with something that you did or something that someone else did. That's the only way that you change. You're uncomfortable because you know it was wrong, or you know something was wrong about it, and you learn how to fix it. So, like, I can't watch YouTube videos of people crying and having breakdowns. I bail out halfway because I get so uncomfortable and so sad, and I can't handle it. But I am getting better at trying to chill that and trying to question myself and be like, why am I uncomfortable with this? Why am I uncomfortable with someone, a stranger, showing vulnerability or honesty to me? Why does that make my skin crawl? Why does it make me want to shut it down and run away? Why? So if anyone makes it through all of this, I'm sorry that you were probably very uncomfortable throughout it, but hopefully it challenged some part of your perceptions or beliefs or worldview, or just made you maybe think a little bit differently about someone else that you haven't come in contact with, because you know what I'm like in a cam show or on Insta Live, and you know what my art photos are like. And you've seen a little bit of this, but not a lot. And this is 98% of my day. So when you see someone else out and about, this also could be 98% of their day. Damn it, I did it again. I couldn't just have a soppy emotional breakdown. I had to make it somewhat inspirational. Fuck my life. It is a problem. I'm deeply broken with a need to fix other people. Oh. Okay, well, the good news is that there is now much lower cardiac cartridges. Oh my god. Also, for reference, I am now drenched in sweat and my heart rate is 50 beats above normal. And it feels like it's calmed down from where it was when I was crying. So I should have started my exercise, because that could have been like a solid cardio sesh, you know? I don't know what I was saying. What was I trying to say? Damn it, I can't rewind this to look at what I was trying to say. Oh yeah, cortisol. I'm so glad I got back to it. For anyone that doesn't know why I'm so happy about that, I was on death medication for a while that just completely wiped out my ability to remember anything, or for more than like 2 seconds. So I couldn't actually think through anything. I couldn't problem solve. I could barely form a sentence because I'd forgotten what the first part of the sentence was when I was talking. It was just, it was not good. Depictions of Alzheimer's and dementia patients in movies looked like you could have a better conversation with them than me. So it is still a very huge celebration when I can trace back and remember something I'd forgotten, because in a normal brain there's like those little breadcrumbs and you're like, there was something and I was thinking about that, and in my brain when I couldn't remember everything, there was just nothing. It was just a blank slate. Someone just fucking shook that Etch-a-Sketch real fucking hard and tossed it against a wall every 5 seconds. Anyway, oh fuck, I've talked so long I might have forgotten what I was talking about again. God damn it, I did. Okay, hold on. Kari, you did it once before. You can do it again. No, I don't think I can do it again. What the fuck, brain? No, I'm just thinking about Etch-a-Sketches. Cortisol! So, as much as I know about anatomy and physiology, and I also did like a year pre-med, I did not know that there's actually cortisol in tears. It's your body's like vent system, basically. And we all know that my entire body has basically been deep frying in cortisol for the last decade. So any way I can vent some, I am here for. So I want to say that the rest of my day is probably going to be the least anxious day. Because of all the cortisol that is now in this furry pillow. Sorry about that, bud. He can handle it. He has an easy life of just getting Arthur's balls on him every few hours. Oh god. Oh, I was in this position too long. Oh fuck. Fuck, 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 fuck. Fuck, 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 fuck. Okay. I need to get up to like stop the video. I'm not just being an annoying asshole, but like can we just pretend that I'm hamming this up for the views? Because, like, everyone already thinks I'm faking anyway, so it would be a lot less humiliating if this was just faking. I'm just doing this for the views, guys. I'm actually super functional and in zero pain. Okay. I just had the urge to high-five myself like I do when I'm really lame and I'm like, up top team, and then I high-five myself, except all of my weight is on my hands and I would have face-planted into fuzzy pillows, but nevertheless, my head could not have handled that. Okay. Forward on team, folks. Yes, team folks. Would you like to be on my team, folks? I made it! I made it! Now I need to go pee though. That's gonna be a whole different adventure. Forgot a couple of points. You know, since I'm going all in, why not? Let's see if I can get through these two without crying this time. So, this is actually from a research article they did on the mental impact of traumatic events, like losing a loved one, losing a limb in an accident, being diagnosed with a chronic illness. And the being diagnosed with a chronic illness was the same amount of emotional distress as any of those events, except that the curve for those events, they healed. Like, they had traumatic events, and then their emotional status or state went back to where it was before the event eventually. And people with chronic illnesses never get out of that state of whatever, grief, despair, I don't fucking know. It doesn't go away. And like, it felt bad when this thought first came to my head, but I'm feeling a lot less apologetic these days. So I can say with 100% certainty that I would much rather have cancer than these illnesses. Because you either get better or you fucking die, and either of those options are better than living indefinitely like this or spiraling worse. And I know that's harsh, but I also know that a fuck ton of people with similar issues to mine feel the same way. And what's really shitty is that if you say you have cancer, people don't doubt you. People take you seriously. And this is kind of like having cancer, but just being in like this weird limbo where you're getting really horrible chemo treatments, but you never actually die, but you also never actually get better, and also nobody believes you actually have cancer. Okay, sorry, that was probably harsh, but as if not evidenced by the past half hour, it's a little rough. It's a bit of a rough day, you know? Anyway. What does that note mean? Didn't have to get this bod? I didn't have to get this bod? Like, body? Didn't have to get this bad. My handwriting will be the fucking death of me. Yeah, so that was the other reason. That was kind of part of the rage. What's that called? When the volcanoes pew, or like just when the hot stuff, like a geyser? Yeah, sure. Rage geyser. Let's go with that. If geyser's wrong, don't at me. I have joint laxity issues, like a lot of you know, and one of the main ways you prevent it from getting worse is by doing a lot of stabilizing exercises. You try and get the little tiny muscles around your joints that should just be controlling movement and stability. You get those to try and do what your ligaments aren't, to hold your fucking shit in place, or else it just pops out all the fucking time for no reason, really painfully. So the incredibly frustrating thing about me going downhill and all of these extra things joining the party, my hip, my fingers getting really bad, my neck getting really bad, my ankle getting to join the party. What sucks the most about him changing my medication is that because my pain levels shot up so much and I had to keep lowering what I was doing less and less and less and less, and I've honestly been bedbound probably at least 75% of the last year. That's a conservative estimate. And anytime that I would do any kind of strengthening or physio, if I could, my body was so ill prepared for it. I would flare myself or injure myself, and I would make everything worse for months. And when I'm trying to work as much as I can, I couldn't afford to do that. And I was just damaging myself more because my body wasn't well enough to even accept the minimum amount of assistance that I could try and give it. The best I could do was just brace what I could and try and use it as little as possible, which again, not great for working. But the kicker is that this was all preventable. The amount that I have snowballed down in the last year, I can make a pretty good educated guess wouldn't have happened if I had still been on the other pain pills, because I would have been able to keep up with my preventative routines as I learned more about my illness and could fine-tune it better. So on top of the suffering that could have been prevented, there's also all of the future suffering from where I'm at now, and all of the shit I've had to do to deal with this, all of the extra money that I have had to pay, like thousands and thousands of dollars wasted. Just because he wasn't comfortable fucking prescribing a medication. Like, how is that even possible in Canada? Wow. I said I wasn't gonna cry again. I think these are tears of rage and disbelief. Rage leaf? Disage? None of that sounds right. Yeah, so TLDR, most of where I'm at now could have been prevented, but the medical community's asshats. So, well said. That's how I feel about that. Okay, I have some opinions today, apparently. Diaphragm's joining the party too.